What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Good Times and Finish Lines. My name is John,
I'm Rylan.
I'm Aiden.
and today we have a jam-packed episode from the last 2 weeks of racing. 24 hours of Le Mans, Canadian Grand Prix, and the NASCAR races at Mexico City. Um, let's get rolling. So, starting off with the 24 hours of Le Mans. I only saw the last hour. So biggest question that I had. So the race was won by the AF Corse team, but that is not the same thing as Ferrari AF Corse, despite the car also being a Ferrari. And the winning car was called a privateer. So, uh, Rylan, could you explain?
Yeah, AF Corsa is a separate team founded by Amato Ferrari in 1995. Well, Ferrari has ties to the full Ferrari team.
Mm,
However, I think AF Corsa runs all three cars.
interesting. Um, so But was the fact that the 83 car won versus the 50 and the 51, is that an upset or it kind of expected?
I mean, I'd consider it an upset, given that the last 2 years were won by both of the main Ferrari
Hmm.
cars. So I'd consider it an upset, but I mean, you still had all three Ferrari hypercars in the top four.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah. So there were some issues with the 50 and the 51. I think I heard something about temperature in those cars. Is that right?
uh, let me check. I mean, if they did, they still ended up finishing 387 laps. One
Yeah.
of five cars to do so, so I don't think it had a huge impact.
Hmm.
But they did finish just under 30 seconds off the pace. So
Yeah. Yeah. Um, also, the other car in the top four was the number six for Porsche Penske Motorsport, a team that has kind of struggled at Le Mans the past couple years. Also heard since the Ferrari that won was not one of the main cars, it the top manufacturer points went to that car. Or well, went to Porsche Penske Motorsport. So that's huge. I heard they've kind of had issues in WEC this year. Um, don't follow too much endurance racing. I pretty much just follow Daytona and this year Le Mans. Maybe a little bit of IMSA. Um, but I do
Porsche's
know,
third currently in the manufacturers championship.
yeah, I do
But this
know,
win definitely pushed them up closer to Toyota. They're only 11 points back.
yeah, I do know that last year, Porsche Penske won both the IMSA Drivers Championship and the WEC Drivers Championship. So, I don't know how they're looking in driver standings, but I'm sure this was really big for this team.
This they're in fourth
Okay.
currently, and then Matt Campbell's in fifth as he didn't participate in
Mm.
the 6 hours of Spa.
Mm.
So, but it's our all three Ferraris are running away in the drivers' championship.
Mm. Okay. So, oh, I heard there was a fight.
Yeah, there was a fight between two of the drivers. I guess one of
I
them
don't think
hit.
it was in the
No,
actual 24 hours.
I don't know
It,
either, but one of them hit another one
it
of
was in
them,
the
and
support
then
race. In the Le Mans Cup Road to Le Mans Race 2. What? Road to Le Mans. Yeah, the Road to Le Mans Race 2 on Saturday morning.
yeah, one of them hit another car, causing them to crash, and then
Mm.
they basically just crashed
Gino
out on
Generoso
the other car.
Baglioni went over to Josip
He tried to
Camadira
pull him.
Mailoa and started kicking on the door.
He was
He's
trying to
under
pull him out of the car.
investigation.
He was trying to pull him out of the car.
Yeah. So Ferrari seemed to be the best team or the best car. And I've heard on the Formula One side of things, their team principal is having his seat warm up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. Reports out of Italian media of them probably wanting to not renew or maybe even fire him before the season's done. Fred Vasseur.
This
Because it's
race, I mean, Mercedes just jumped them in the constructors' standings. They're now in third, so definitely starting to heat up. The disqualifications in China definitely didn't help Ferrari at all. So we'll see what the
speaking
guys
of
in charge
which,
at Ferrari do.
speaking of which, Ryan, let's do our biggest winners and losers from the Canadian Grand Prix.
All right, hey, who's your biggest winner?
My biggest winner is definitely Mercedes. Shocker, obviously. I mean, they had a 1 and 3 double podium, got ahead of Ferrari in the standings, and they needed a result like this bad.
Yes. I mean, we'll see what happens with these protests, but as of now, 7:52 on Sunday night, it's Mercedes 1-3. My biggest winner, I'm gonna say Haas and Hulkenberg, both equally winners for me. Haas scoring points in their 200th Grand Prix, and Hulkenberg continuing to pull this Sauber into the points.
Now, my biggest disappointment, probably Alex Albon, just because got in the Q3 and everything, started top 10, just finished last, which obviously sucks for him. And now do Stroll because home Grand Prix came back from injury, made all that fuss about back in Spain, and just to finish basically last, it's pretty abysmal.
My biggest disappointment is this guy right here, Lando Norris. I mean, once again shows that he can't really handle the pressure of fighting for a championship. That he went for a gap that no longer existed, and that's had catastrophic effects on his championship position. He's now 22 points behind Piastri when he
Oof.
was just 3 last week, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, I think that's right. Wow, that's bad. Okay, so going from north of the border to south of the border, we had NASCAR in Mexico City this weekend. A lot to talk about. First of all, the Saturday race, the Xfinity Series, Daniel Suarez getting the win in his home country. Incredible moment. Man, when they were trying to interview him, I could not hear. The crowd was going insane. Um, and then on Sunday, well, hasn't been official with inspection yet because it just got finished up about an hour ago. Shane Van Gisbergen um, came into the race 33rd, leaves in the playoffs with a big win. I'm not surprised. Last time NASCAR went to a new road course was in Chicago. Who won that race? SVG in his first NASCAR start. So I was expecting that, but he was under a lot of pressure this weekend. Um, and Trackhouse is really being talked about in driver free agency. Like, is Suarez going to leave? Is Van Gisbergen going to leave? They have Connor Zilic in this Xfinity Series, waiting for a Cup ride. He's considered one of the best prospects in all of motorsports, probably the best prospect in NASCAR. Um, they added more Cup starts for him. Um, he had the car to beat on in the Xfinity race, but and he was driving back up through the field, but he couldn't get to Suarez at the end. So I not only consider the Xfinity win for Suarez like a statement because it's in his own country, but also because he has potential future replacement chasing after him. But anyway, also, I really like that they raced at this track. I mean, you could tell this was a big event. I mean, as much as I love NASCAR going back to tracks like Bowman Gray and Wilkesboro, um, it's really cool and it gets tracks new eyes when they do things like this and run at the Coliseum, Chicago Street Race, you name it. So I think it was a good weekend.
I definitely think it'd be cool if they like start rotating in, like rotate this and maybe like most sport up in Canada or Circuit Gilles
Ooh,
Villeneuve, kind of
ooh.
staying within North America but rotating in some international street circuits.
Hmm. That would be interesting for sure. In other news, um, NASCAR is officially getting a fourth OEM next year in the Craftsman Truck Series. Ram is joining, and Stellantis has expressed interest in getting a Dodge into the Cup Series in 2027 or 2028. Still no word on the Xfinity Series, whether they're going there or not. But that's huge. What are your thoughts on that, Ryan?
I mean, it's great for NASCAR
Yeah.
showing that they are attractive to other
Mhm.
uh, manufacturers, especially with the lower series. So it wouldn't shock me if we end up seeing if is successful with the truck series. It would not shock me if we start seeing more Xfinity or Cup Series manufacturers come in.
Mhm. Definitely. I've heard some rumors about Honda too. Would be really interesting to have five manufacturers in NASCAR. Um, I wonder if that means they're going to run the Ridge Line in the Truck Series. That would be interesting. Um, Probably not, but yeah.
Indy drops the green flag here in 3 minutes. You got any predictions?
I mean, Penske sweeps the front row, so probably one of those cars. Heard it was 700 poles for them because of Will Power um, today. That's exciting. Oh, 700 poles across all forms of racing, not just IndyCar. Um, but yeah, Penske could use something going for them this season after the start they've gotten off to.
And the cheating scandal.
Yeah, exactly. Uh,
Do you think Palou will be able to return to his winning ways this week?
I don't know. He did win the last oval, but ovals haven't exactly been his thing.
Yeah, and hopefully the rough race at Detroit last week for him doesn't get to his head because he's a good driver.
Mm-hmm.
Pato is 90 points back on him, so another rough week from him could give us a title race here in Indy.
Mhm. Absolutely. Um, yeah, looking ahead, we also have Road America, I believe, after this week. And then looking ahead to NASCAR, we have Pocono next weekend and Atlanta after that. In Formula One, we have the Austrian Grand Prix coming up. So, what are your picks for those races?
The Austria first.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Red Bull ring. So Red Bull
And
probably will be one of the favorites, but the McLaren they weren't really suited for Canada. I heard the car wasn't the best.
Yeah.
and
So
I think after this week, Max is gonna be driving with some anger next week, so I think he's gonna push hard and definitely has a shot at the win in Austria.
I like the Verstappen pick too. Yeah, especially it probably has a little momentum after a good finish in Canada too. So yeah, we'll see. Assuming he doesn't mess anything up. Yeah, because those 11 hope those 11 penalty points might get to his head. All right, how about for Indy?
I mean, it's about to start here. Power on pole. He's had a good stretch outside of the opener in St. Pete. He's had one finish outside the top 10, so he could definitely be a great pick.
I'm gonna go with McLaughlin. I think he won a race. I think he won one of the Gateway races last year. So, and he's starting second. So I'll go with him.
mm, honestly, I kind of like Paddle World
Hmm, not a bad
because
pick. Who are
And,
we
oh,
thinking for Pocono?
actually, before we get to Pocono, A dark horse pick for Gateway here could definitely be Santino Ferrucci. After a rough start to the season, he's finished fifth and second over his last two races. So
Mm,
I'd keep an eye on him here in St.
absolutely.
Louis.
All right. For Pocono, hmm, I really don't know who to go with. Um, I would say Denny Hamlin, but he had to miss the Mexico City race, so Russ maybe. So, mm, this is really tough. I'll go. You know what? Call me crazy. I'll go Alex Bowman. Past winner there. Finally got something going in his favor. Finished fourth today. Um, really looking to prove himself. Because everyone seems to think he's on the hot seat. I don't. I mean, he's for one, he's under contract for next year, but two, I mean, I don't think there's many. There's I don't think there's much better options out there for Hendrick to pick. But I will go Alex Bowman. He finished third there last year, past a winner at Pocono. So
So I agree with Hamlin. If he raced this past week in Mexico City, I would definitely pick him to win. I'm looking at Christopher Bell. He's had some seconds and thirds, but he hasn't won since Phoenix. I think he's due for a win here in Pocono.
mm,
I like the Danny Hamilton pick.
mm, okay. Um. Ooh. Who are some potential underdogs we could look at for any of the races this weekend? Or well, and going forward.
I mean, starting with Pocono, I mean, Custer finished eighth this past weekend. Could he ride that momentum?
I Good question. I mean, he is a two-time winner at Pocono in the Xfinity Series, so he should definitely be a guy to watch. Man, that team really needed a good run, so he'll be interesting for sure.
I would say for Austria, maybe one of the Mercedes, honestly. If they like race as good as they did in Canada, I would say they have a shot at least a podium.
Oh, I forgot to ask earlier. Was this Kimi Antonelli's first podium or his
It
second?
was.
Oh, it was first. Nice. Yeah, he's been really good for
He became the third youngest to have a podium in
wow.
F1 history.
Only third. I thought he would have been the youngest. He's
Second youngest is Lance Stroll.
wow.
When did he get that
I think it
one?
was Monza 2017.
Wow.
It's been all downhill from there for him.
So downhill, yeah. That's crazy.
I mean, my two big storylines for Austria are, will Kimi keep the momentum with the podium, and will Hulkenberg continue to drive this Sauber way above its weight class? Because
Yeah.
Bortoleto, one of three drivers who hasn't scored points, doing, but who knows if he's coming back. Colapinto
Yeah,
and then
yeah, good
Bortoleto.
weekend.
Meanwhile,
I'll say.
Hulkenberg is in 11th. He's outscored
He,
Sainz, Sonoda,
gosh.
Outscored Carlos Sainz driving a
and he's only
state
1 point behind Hazard,
Sauber.
Wow.
That's
two behind
crazy.
Ocon. And other than the disqualification, he hasn't finished lower than 16th this year. So
Yeah, that's actually really good for
Yeah.
him.
that's definitely a storyline that'll track into next year with the new regs in the Audi car. I know we've brought it up before, but this race just reinforced how good he's been this year.
hmm Yeah. So back to underdog picks for Gateway. I'm kind of a NASCAR guy, so I think it's unfair if I do a Pocono underdog pick. I'm gonna say for an underdog pick for Gateway, David Malukas. I don't love his equipment with Meyershank, but he's sporty on the ovals. Wait, is he racing for Meyershank this year? I don't know. Oh no, he's in AJ Foyt. He was at Meyershank last year. Um, okay, well, yeah, I like that better actually. Yeah, I'm gonna go David Malukas for an underdog at Gateway.
Also, a rest in peace to all the animals that have died off the tracks this weekend
Hmm.
Yo,
from
Lewis
Canada
hit a
and Le Mans.
groundhog, causing all the damage.
Yeah,
Well,
I think Ty Dillon does spoil Michigan.
There's what wasn't the one in Le Mans? There's one I forgot.
I think it was a bird.
Yeah,
Double
I'll
check.
repeat all
Oh, it was a
those.
rabbit. It was a rabbit.
Oh,
Yeah, but I'll repeat all those ones.
Also, another underdog pick here in Gateway. Joseph Newgarden won there last year, but after third place in St. Petersburg, it's been rough for him. 13th, 27th, 10th, 12th, 22nd, and 9th. Uh, he'll look to get back into winner's circle, same place he won last year.
I don't know.
Definitely,
My
he could
opinion,
definitely shock the world.
little debatable to call a Penske car an underdog, but
He's been struggling, so I feel like
yeah.
until he proves that he can get back up to the consistent top finishes.
One last thing before we finish. Did have you guys watched the Earnhardt documentary at all?
I have not. I need to.
Ah,
Is that on Prime?
yes, it's on Prime.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard it's gotten good reviews. I've heard Dale Jr. has really opened up and said some new things that the fans didn't know about before, and yeah, I heard it's really good, and it might bring some new eyes to the sport. So hopefully, um, yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching, folks. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks. We encourage you to leave comments. We might read them on the show next time. Also, you can check out our new TikTok at Good Times and Finish Lines, all one word. And yeah, just like and subscribe.